mark by leveraging the power of AI. As the host of the Shankar Ponsalat podcast, Shankar shares his wealth of knowledge and expertise in utilizing AI for business success. He offers tips, tricks, and strategies that help entrepreneurs and business owners stay ahead of the curve and achieve their goals. Join us now at dailycontent.ai. Please give a warm welcome to Shankar Ponsalat.
Oh, what a nice, warm welcome. Thank you so much. All right. Well, it is good to be back and good to have another live here on LinkedIn. LinkedIn audio lives are very powerful if you want to talk to an audience that might not know you just quite as well yet, because people get notifications when you go live. But today it looks like the feature has a little bit of problems. Andrea keeps dropping off, and there she goes. And LinkedIn is not the focus of what we will be talking about for the next 20 minutes or so. We will talk about a platform called Threads. Threads, if I pronounce that correctly, Andrea. I know sometimes I struggle with that TH, but Threads, there we go. So what is it? First of all, for my dear listeners here, Amandine, Ramon, and Annika, do you have your Threads account set up already? Give me a thumbs up if you have your Threads account set up. None of you. Great. Well, that is awesome, because that means you're going to learn something new today, and hopefully it will inspire you to move forward and open your account. So Threads is a social platform that was released yesterday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. At the very least, yesterday, it really exploded. It is an app that Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Meta, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg and his team developed the app, and it feels very Twitter-like, but in a friendlier version, in just like a more relaxed, laid-back version. That is how I would describe it. Andrea, what do you think? How would you describe Threads?
Like Twitter with no DM.
Oh, okay. Twitter with no DM. At least that's a feature that is not there yet. And, I kind of like it, because what is not happening so far is the unsolicited direct messages that make you buy stuff or tell you that you should invest into Forex or crypto or whatnot. And interestingly enough, so far on the platform Threads, I have not seen anything like that. So hopefully that'll stay that way. Now, you might ask yourselves, why does this warrant a audio event? Well, here's the deal. Whenever a new social media platform starts, there is a phenomenon that takes place, which is called the early adopter advantage. And what does that mean? It means that you get to have the same chances at growing your account as your favorite influencer on any other platform. I'm sure some of you have thought, had I only started from the beginning, had I only started connecting with people on this platform when it first started out, right? We're talking about Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, this beautiful platform, LinkedIn. And then typically what the human brain says is, well, it's still in its beginnings and not a lot of people are on there, which by the way is not true for Threads, because as of this morning, 10 million people have adopted it, have downloaded the app. So we're kind of a little bit complacent at the beginning, and we think, let's first take a look at where this goes. And once I see a good direction, I will determine whether it is worth my time or not. Give me a thumbs up if you can relate to that. Give me a thumbs up if you have ever done that in the past. Well, let me tell you, that is the problem. That thinking is what lets you never become one of those mega influencers, because you did not start right at the beginning when all the platform is trying to do is make you enjoy it. And that means you have unlimited access to the algorithm. Everything you post is equally exposed to anyone on the platform. There is no algorithm that favors anyone because they have larger followings and so on and so forth. So we all start from scratch, and it takes quite a lot of work at the beginning to start from scratch. If you want to grow, you need to invest. So yesterday, around, I think 8 o'clock at night, Andrea and I thought, it's about time to go to sleep, because we kind of have this goal to be in bed by 9. It doesn't always happen, but that was our goal. And then, of course, we discovered Threads. And let me just say that I'm not sure when Andrea went to sleep, but I ended up going to bed at midnight. And all I was doing nonstop was working the platform. So, Andrea, what did you do during that time?
I'm opening my Sleep IQ app so I can see when exactly I went to sleep, because it looks like I didn't get the best sleep. I went to bed at 12:21 a.m. somehow.
Okay. So what did we do until then? I mean, I'm telling you what I did. I was on the Thread app, and I basically posted once a minute, and I interacted as much as possible with other users, which, by the way, within not even 24 hours, I now have 70 followers, because I was working it like a madman, and that is the result.
So some people seem to be, yeah, you're right. Okay, so not that you would lie about that. I've got 23 followers. And so I think you have kind of alluded to it already. This app is about, to actually quote Zuckerberg himself, someone asked Zuck, how are you going to decide what to share on Threads versus your IG broadcast channel? Personally, as a creator, I'm a bit conflicted now. And he says, good question. I'm currently planning to use my Instagram broadcast channel. For those of you that don't know, the broadcast channel is a one-way communication through Instagram. There's a place, just imagine a one-way text. That's basically what that is. So he says, I'm planning to use my Instagram broadcast channel for daily product updates, which he does right now, and Threads for discussing and sharing thoughts. But we'll see where these platforms go, ... He just told you right there. He wants Threads, or he sees it as a place for discussion and sharing thoughts, which is something Shankar had mentioned yesterday. And so, yeah, it's really interesting to be able to hop on to even high profile people, politicians, whoever, and it's just ungated. You can actually get through to them right now, and there's no ads. So we'll see how long this lasts. And you can write short posts up to 500 characters. I don't know about probably in responses as well. But yeah, that's
You
pretty
can
interesting.
write those short posts, you can upload pictures, you can also upload videos I have seen. So one thing that, for example, happened to me, dear listeners, and by the way, I put my thread link in the comments of this audio event. So when we are done, please follow me. I'll make sure to follow you back, because really what I want to achieve with this audio here today is I want you to realize, okay, I want to be an early adopter. I want to for once be at the beginning as well, and really give myself the chance to grow an audience here. So what I did yesterday is one of the people on the Threads app, and all the big names are on there, by the way, Richard Branson and you name it, Gary V. So one of the people that I noticed was Mark Cuban. And for those of you who don't know who he is, he's one of the sharks on the Shark Tank show. And Mark Cuban has the card called the Cuban card, I believe. And what it does is it gives people affordable access to prescription medication. So Andrea and I, we are very involved in a movement called the Free Market Medical Association that is all about lowering cost for healthcare and medications. So I replied under Mark Cuban's thread on Threads, and I told him that he should connect with me because I want him to maybe speak at one of our FMMA events here in San Antonio. Now, I can tell you on any other platform, the chances of him seeing it and following back are close to zero. Now, of course, you know what happened. He followed back and he liked my thread, but he hasn't responded yet. But now I have a first degree connection with someone who is really a business role model for many Americans. And it is only possible because I was open to being super active on this new app. Andrea, do you think that people can still start today, or is it too late?
No, I absolutely don't think it's too late. I think that, wherever you go, if you're adding value and you're having fun, then you should be there. You never know when an algorithm will change. You never know when some of the content that you populated years ago will suddenly just like pop up and go viral. Like, you really never know. Mm-hmm. And it starts with just interacting and understanding how it works, how it behaves, what's the behavior that you see, and then interacting, I would say, is if you are just there to kind of post and not interact, then maybe there's another place you can go. But here, that seems to be the ambition. And it just behaves a little bit different right now from other social media platforms. I think that people are very interested in it, just to call it the Twitter killer. And so, like, there's people that want to take Twitter down, and that should be a show. It's just interesting watching the thread. And then I've never tracked so closely like celebrities' engagement to other accounts. So that's kind of interesting too, like to see how people feel about Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg actually engaging and saying like, just a laugh emoji says a lot, right? Mm-hmm. So if you go there for fun, not just like, I'm not saying silly fun to go and be crazy and do things you would never do or to do memes all day. But I mean, as long as you're going to really try to create value, then I think you're fine.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the best time to start is always now. We have learned in business.
That's true.
We have learned in business that taking action is really what gets you results. So take action, Amandine and Annika. We're getting close to the end of our audio here, but if you want to participate in the conversation, you can raise your virtual hand here on the app if you want to ask a question or maybe add something to the conversation. You know, Andrea, one thing that I noticed is that the URL for Threads is actually not threads.com, but it is threads.net.
Yeah, I noticed that. What's that all about?
Well,
Network?
Well, you know, I think it just shows someone probably has it. You know, the .coms, the .coms are all taken for single words that are meaningful. But I think it shows something else. I think it shows that we are all ready to really focus. You know, the time is ready to build something around a domain that is not a .com domain, which in the past that would have been unthinkable, but nowadays you can totally start a new venture, and if the .com is not available, then the .co is possible. We have a very good friend, Shanae Moray. Her company has the .global extension. And so I think that's just to tell you, you know, whatever domain name you want, it seems that you shouldn't worry too much anymore about which extension you can get.
And can I say something else on that?
Yes.
So I did go to threads.com and it appears to be a Slack replacement.
Oh.
It says modern teams need more than just chat. Threads is a Slack replacement designed for makers. One of two things happened. Either threads.com was like, no, we're not giving it up, because clearly now this is worth like billions, just because if people are trying to go to Threads and they go to threads.com instead of .net and whatever. Or they didn't even try. They were like, you know, threads.com, it's a thing. It's a Slack replacement designed for makers. And I know it's not, you know, ideal to have threads.net. Or like, I mean, I guess there's probably like 5 other scenarios that could be the reality. We'll never know. But I think that, you know, if they were offered money and they didn't take it, then that would be pretty cool. And if the Meta team decided, you know, let's just give these teams a chance, or these companies a chance, to, you know, we don't want to take away a good thing they have going, then that's also pretty cool. But yeah, it's interesting. You'd have to be in the room where it happens to figure out what was that decision process. What did it look like?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, we're getting close towards the end here. In about 19 minutes, Andrea and I will jump on another call where we facilitate a daily content prompt for LinkedIn. And if you, Amandine or Annika, you want to experience that, we actually have a challenge next week where you can participate for free. It's 30 minutes every day, and it starts on July 11th. It's in the morning here in the US, so it's probably going to be afternoonish for you all, because Amandine is in Cyprus, I believe. Yep. And Annika is in South Africa. All right. Well, thank you for your precious time. It's been great having you as an audience. I will post a recording of this to the event. And don't forget to create your Threads account and follow, because again, you get the chance to start completely from scratch, have equal opportunity with all the big names out there. Everybody now really gets rewarded based on the effort they put into that new platform. Andrea, any final thoughts?
Just again, thanks for being here, for listening to the conversation, and hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned just a little bit more about Instagram's Threads, Twitter killer, and that you will test it out and let us know what you think.
Absolutely. I see Annika messaged me a question. She said, on Thread and Facebook Meta about those. I'm not sure.
What was the question?
Yeah, she says on Thread and Facebook Meta about those. So I'm not sure your question is not worded. Do you understand it, Andrea?
On Threads, on Meta.
So, okay, let me explain. So Meta is the company that owns Facebook and Instagram. And Thread seems...
Formerly Facebook.
Yeah. And Thread seems to be their third app, if you will. So Facebook, Meta, formerly Facebook, number 1. Instagram, number 2. And then attached to Instagram, actually, it looks like you need to have an Instagram account to even have a Thread account, is the third app, Threads. So we have those trifecta of apps, and Facebook is what it is. Instagram, you're probably familiar with as well. And Threads, Annika, feels a lot more like Twitter. Really, it feels very similar to Twitter, a little bit friendlier, a little bit more relaxed. But that's kind of...
And here's another way to think about it. If you think about Instagram, you know how you can have conversations, but it's so cluttered. And that they talk about it as like almost a standalone app. It's almost like a feature that is just an app because having threads and public conversations and all of that, that's not anything new. What makes this new or different is that you really do have an opportunity just to have conversation. And you don't have to worry about going through hoops. And I guess Instagram is just a different product, but the same product as Threads is like a little baby from the Instagram app, if that makes sense. Just the little bitty thread part.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrea, for that explanation. And Annika has given you a lot of reactions here. So looks like you did a good job, Andrea. Thank you. All right. Well, we'll see you again. Andrea has daily morning audio events if you want to connect with her as well. And then I used to do it daily, and hopefully this is the start of my new streak here. Would be
I'm excited.
Nice.
I'm excited about it.
All right. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.